Okay, yes, TOPTS journey intro. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you're watching from. Welcome back to our fashion journey. Here we are still continuing with a detailed introduction to sewing stroke tailoring. So in today's episode number 6, practical video 3, we are having a practical pattern making class tutorial where we will be drafting a free female stroke ladies short pant using a simple step-by-step method that I will be showing you. So guys, I apologize with the voice. I have some problem with the voice. So guys, if you missed or you haven't watched other episodes, please, I do request you go watch them after watching this, and I have already put the links in the description box down below. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. That's the only greatest support I need from you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us jump straight to our short pant practical class. So as you can see, I have already finished drawing these two guidelines. This one will be my waistline, then this one will be my guideline on the horizontal measurement placement. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to insert the depths of these horizontal lines vertically. First, I begin by inserting my crotch depth line. To get the crotch depths, I always use this method. I get my round hip measurements, I divide by 4 plus 1. So my round hip measurement for this project is 43 inches. I divide by 4, giving me 10.75 plus 1 inch, giving me 11.75. So I mark minus 1.5 for the waistband, but if you're making plain one without waistband, there is no need to remove 1.5 inch. Then I mark downwards crotch depths crotch depths 11.75 here like this. Then I square a straight line like so. Now I level this as the crotch line depths. After, the next thing is getting the hip line. From this crotch line, I mark upwards 3 inches for my hip line. After, I square a straight line like this. I also level this as hip line. The last line for me to determine is my short pant full length. So my short pant full length is 17 inches. Now, I minus 1.5 for the waistband as I said earlier. Then I mark downwards 17 inches. Then I square a straight line like this. I also label this as short pant full length or hemline. Don't forget to add hem allowance for folding so that you can achieve a clean finish at the hemline. So from this short full length or hemline, I mark downwards 3 inches hem allowance. Here like this. You can add as much much hem allowance as you can, just in case. Then after, you can trim it off. After, I square a straight line like this. I also mark this as short hem allowance line. Now, I'm done with inserting these horizontal lines vertically. The next step is inserting my short pant body measurements to these lines. As usual, I always begin with the crotch line. I come to this point. I insert hip measurements divided by 4, which is 43. I divide by 4, giving me 10.75. So my 10.75 is here. Then I add 2.5 inches. Sorry guys, my camera had stopped capturing. As you can see, I measured from here to here round hip measurements which is 43. I divided it by 4, giving me 10.75. Then I added 2.5 inch, giving me 13.25 inches. So I marked my 13.25 here like this. Then from this point to this point, I marked inwards 2 inches. After, I squared a straight line to create a crotch rise line like this. So we continue. The camera is now on. Next is getting the trouser mid-grain line. I measure from this point to this point, which is 13.25 inches. I divide it by 2, giving me 6.625. So I mark 6.625 here like this. Then I square a straight line in this way to get my mid-grain line. So the middle line is ready. Next is determining the crotch curve using this simple formula. So from this point at the crotch depth line, I mark downwards hip measurements divide by 12, which is 43. I divide by 12, giving me 3.6. So I mark down here 3.6 inches. Then I draw a diagonal straight line from this point to this point like this. Also, from this point of this diagonal line, I mark upwards hip measurements divided by 6, which is 43 divided by 6, giving me 7.1. So I mark upwards 7.1 inches, but I'm ignoring 0.1, so I just mark 7 inches like this. Next is creating crotch curve rise. I connect this point and this point to this point with a curved line like so. So creating a crotch curve line is done. Next is determining or working on the short pant bottom opening. My bottom opening, my client wants it in a freestyle way, but you can still make it a fitted one. Also, it depends on your customer's preference. As you can see, where my short pant ends is not far from the thigh, and my client's thigh is 28 and a quarter. That means I will just deduct 2 1/4 from my client's original thigh measurements, giving me 26. So the 26, I will now insert it at this point. 26 inches divided by 2, giving me 13. Also, when I divide 13 by 2, giving me 6.5. So I mark here 6.5 inches. Also here I mark 6.5 inches. So after, what I got here is what I square down at this hem allowance line. So I mark 6.5 inches this side. Also this side I mark 6.65 inches. Then I connect this point together like this to create a short pant leg in this way. After, next is working on the waistline. From here on this side, I mark waist divided by 4. My client's waist is 36 inches. I divide it by 4, giving me 9. So I mark my 9 inches here plus 1 inch for that allowance. Then from this point, I mark upwards 2 inches to get my correct hip curve. But if you have a hip curve ruler, you can join it directly. But if you don't have the hip curve ruler like me, use this formula. It only applies to ladies. Then connect this point to this point After, I blend this line to this point like so. Now from this point I have to get a neat fit at the front crotch rise. So here I mark downwards 0.75 inches. Then I connect this to this in this way like this. So as you can see, our front part pattern is almost ready. Next is inserting front dart. As you remember, we added dart intake of 1 inch. So I come here at this grain line, I mark 0.5 inches this side. On this side also I mark 0.5 inches, which is a half inch. Then I mark dart depths, that is dart lengths, 4 inches here. After, I connect my dart legs like this. Now the front part is ready. The last step is trimming it off. And this front part is the one I'm going to use for cutting the back pattern. So I lay it on a new pattern paper and pin it together so that it doesn't disturb when I start inserting the measurements. After pinning, next thing is tracing out these working lines. But for the crotch depths from this point, I mark downwards a half inch for a new back crotch line depths. Then I prolong this new crotch line like so. Then from this point I mark outwards crotch extension widths of 2.5 inch, but this client's hips are big, so I extend it by 3 inches. So I mark 3 inches here like this. Also for this short bottom hem, I extend it with 2 inches. Also the bottom hem allowance I mark 2 inches. Then I connect this point to this point like this. After, next is working on the back waistline. I come to this point, I mark 1.5 inches here like this. Then I square a straight line like this. Then from this point I mark upwards 1.5 inches. This is because the back rise is not the same as the front rise. So to enable your trousers sit and fit your waist very well and not showing your behind, you have to raise the back crotch line rise by either 1.5 inch or 2 inches. But as for me, I have raised it by 1.5 for adults in this video. Let me trace out this line also like this. So what I have here at the front waistline is what I'm going to transfer to this point in this way, plus 1.5 inches. After, I connect this point to this point like this. Also from here I connect to here like this in this way. Then from here I get the midpoint of this, the midpoint of this. Then I mark the midpoint here. Then I connect from here to this point like so. Also from here, using my free hand, I connect this back crotch curve in this format. As you can see, our back part has already taken shape. Next is trimming the back pattern off. So this is our both back and the front pattern for a female short pant. Next is inserting the back that. I divide my back waistline into two like this to get the midpoint for my dart, to get the point for my dart, placement. Then from this midpoint, I mark downwards 3.5 inches dart length or dart depth. Then I mark dart intake of 0.5 inches on this side. Also on this side, I mark 0.5 on this side like this. After, I connect these dart legs to this point like so. So guys, that's all about our today's pant formula. Note, there are very many formulas for calculating pants, and this is one of the methods you can adopt or follow. If you have seen this video is helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up, share, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more fashion pattern making tutorials of the same. Bye bye, see you in my next video. God bless you all. Shalom. Yeah, the video has not, the sound, the voice has been disturbed, but I know you're picking out something. Thank you so much, my people, for supporting me. Thank you so much. You inspire me a lot when you like, when you comment, and when you subscribe to my channel. You give me more morale to create more videos. More videos are coming of the same. As I told you, I've started a TOPTS journey intro, of which it is introduction to the detailed introduction to sewing. So guys, bye bye, see you in the next practical video. Of it will be what I think next time I'm going to make a dress. Yes, in the next video I'll make a dress. So guys, good day, good evening, good afternoon to you all. Bye bye.